Okay. Charity season 20, episode 4, The Bachelorette. I'm going to be talking about the standouts and not summarizing the episode, so let's just get straight into it. Oh my god, this was probably the messiest, spiciest episode we have so far because we have the classic uh I'm coming back even though you eliminated me moment that I'm pretty sure is Bachelor encouraged or Bachelor producer encouraged. And I feel like from day one, they knew they were going to have to do this with Brayden at some point. At some point, they were going to have him be like a version of Luke P. We knew this was coming. Oh my god. And they did it so well. It got the men far more riled than they should have been. Oh my god. Like, as much as I don't like Brayden, I feel like all of this hostility that he's getting from these guys is not warranted. Okay, it's not warranted. John said that's like the most disrespected he's ever been in his life. Go through more things if that's the most disrespectful you ever have been in your life. Crazy. It's crazy that, Brayden was going on like a really valid tangent about like, and I like feel this way about the Bachelor and Bachelorette as well, about how he didn't like that she was always on, like how he was talking to some random somebody, I think maybe I can't remember who it was. He was like, I just don't like the fact that she's like always on. We're only gonna get to see her when she's on, which is valid, but then it's like, then you proceed to see Charity for the last time when she's super turned off. Like, you got to see her for her real like rawest emotions when she's being like super turned off, and like when she walks you out. Like, be careful with what you wish for. You just might get it. Why am I stuttering so much? I apologize for that, but also I can't help it. If I just could not stutter, I would. I feel like I'm developing like a later in life stutter, which is, I don't know. Like, I just feel like my pattern of stuttering is just getting more and more progressive, and I'm just not okay with it. And it's making me so, like, I don't know if I'm nervous or if I'm just tired or what the heck is going on, or if it's actually an onset stutter. Okay, so let's just go through this. Also, just to kind of summarize my views on this episode, just so you know you're not gonna waste your time on somebody you disagree with. This is a Brandon slander page. This is a pro Joey on everything, pro Dutton on everything. This is a Aaron B. I see where he's coming from, but it's a little bit too controlling for me. Page perspective. And this is also a Sean, what are you still doing here? Hey, what are we still doing here? Why would Charity choose John over Sean? What the heck is up? Anyway. I'm gonna go through my notes, note by note, obviously, but I'm just gonna start off saying there's gonna be a lot of notes about Brayden in this episode because Brayden really does carry the drama, and I will say it is kind of sad that he's gone because I know that the villain always has to shift to somebody else who's less offensive, but still has to be a little offensive. I have a feeling it's gonna be Sean, which is like annoying because he just has like an annoying face, and I hate that Charity's chosen how. I really do. My god. Okay. And speaking of, although I don't like Brayden, he is 110 on the fact that Sean looks like Prince Charming from Shrek. That, like, whenever I heard that, me and my husband were both like, do you see it? Because I see it. Like, that's wild. Sean just has like an annoying face. He just looks odd. He looks uncomfortably weird. He's like pretty in an odd way. And I just don't like that he's lasting so long. He was not supposed to be top, we're at top 7 or 6? I don't know. He's not supposed to make it this far. Okay, Dutton gets the first one-on-one, or gets the first one-on-one, gets the one-on-one for this episode, and I'm very geeked about that because I am team Dutton all the way. Okay, I love him. I actually really love him. To me, I feel like the Bachelor franchise is full of people who I'm just like, ew, I couldn't relate to you. Like, I would never even want to date you. I hate the people that they bring on because if you're good for TV, you're like not a real person. Dutton, I feel like, may not be as good for TV as Brayden is, but oh my god, husband material, 110% husband material. I love him. If it doesn't work out with Charity, I hope it works out with somebody who's like very valuable. Like oh my god, I just want the best for him. If I was single, that would be me. But I'm very much married, very much happy. But if I wasn't, I would be watching The Bachelor and being like, let me follow him, let me message him, let me try to like get some sort of way that I could like get into his life. Anyways, how much of this is like concerning that I like have this like crush with him? Because I always hate when wives like talk about their like crushes outside of the marriage. When it's like, you're married, like it's kind of embarrassing for you. But it's like, okay, I don't know, like I don't know. If you're not like, I feel like unless you're married, it's just kind of hard to understand that like you can have crushes in like people and figures, but it's like not real. Like you're never gonna feel real feelings for like anybody, you know. Anyway, so I have written down that they absolutely looked like they were not gonna jump on the one-on-one. The bungee jumping, the like the let's face our fears together dates are my least favorite because it's so uncomfortable. It's purely for shock, and it's purely just to get their like scared reactions. Before they jumped, Charity was like, okay, 3, 2, 1. And then she left. It looked like they were gonna chicken out. It was so funny to see. But I was like living for the fact that they went twice. Couldn't be me. Absolutely could not be me. But I'm proud of that journey. I am. What WTF is up with these obnoxious earrings that Brayden is wearing? Ew. I'm sorry, they just keep getting bigger and weirder each and every episode. And I think that there are a lot of people that don't like the earrings because they're like intimidated by men like embracing their quote unquote femininity. And people who are like weirded out by that, because I feel like even though we are like, men wearing earrings is more normalized in our society, I feel like men wearing long earrings is another conversation. But I will say that it's just like some of the earrings that he's wearing are just odd. They're not hot in a Nate way. If you know Nate from Michelle's season, you know what's up. That man was a good looking man. Brayden is a weird looking man. Like I feel like objectively he's a good looking man in relation to the average guy, but he just is weird. Like the way that he carries himself, I feel like would have been so good if he was like I don't know, like in 2000, like he just feels kind of chuggy to me. Like the whole look just feels very chuggy. Like it doesn't feel like he would wear that IRL and like you would see him out like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. It's just so outdated. I feel like every single one of his outfits, I'm like, we got that straight from 2011. Anyways, but yeah, so I do also, as much as I made fun of it, being like, oh, Brayden's teasing Charity for being for like always being on, and then he got walked out because she was turned off. It is valid for him to be like, I just don't like the fact that she's always on. Because, I mean, The Bachelor is a show about like, oh, I'm gonna constantly be made up. I'm gonna wear these gowns. We're gonna go on these Bachelor-produced dates. We're gonna like not be 110% real with each other because we're on a show. All of this is for show. It is valid for him to bring that up. It's just his delivery, I feel like, is so odd sometimes, you know? I'm gonna make so many more comments about Brayden. It makes me ill. But let's just keep going through more of my notes. Who is Tanner? Where did he come from? Why all of a sudden is he one of the top people that's being picked? What the heck? We have not seen a single thing about him. We just know that his name is Tanner. What the hell? What the hell? It's so odd. I don't know. Yuck. Not yuck. He could be a nice boy, but like anyway. I was rooting for John to have the one-on-one date. As much as I love Dutton, I feel like Dutton knows his place. Dutton knows his ways. Dutton knows the value that Charity sees in him. John, I feel like should have been given a little bit more of a chance. But also, like, how much can you really say, like, oh, they should have had more time, they should have had blah, blah, blah. Like, Charity should give me more, you know, because it's like, if she didn't give you the rose, maybe she just doesn't have that spark with you. Maybe she doesn't have that connection with you. Maybe she's kissing you because she doesn't care about, like, progressing you guys' intellectual connection, emotional connection. Maybe she just isn't about it, you know? Clearly she wasn't. She sent you home. But, like, I felt like watching it, I kind of feel like just because of his confessionals and the way that we see him, the way he moves throughout the house, I feel like John deserved a little bit more. We're gonna see him on Paradise, and he's gonna be like a Connor type, you know? Connor, remember with he was on Katie's season, I think. He dressed up as like a cat. He's gonna be like the kind of like loser stereotype that they bring into Paradise. I feel like it, because the girls really only go for like Brayden types or Nate types. Nate from Michelle's season, he's gonna be right up a lot, I think. He's so fine. Sorry. The people just typically go for like big, tall men who clearly, like, I don't know, played lacrosse at least one time in high school. Oh, speaking of, definitely Brayden's gonna be on Bachelor in Paradise. Definitely. If he's not, then like, what's the point? Seriously, what's the point? If Rachel's not on Bachelor in Paradise, what's the point? If Rachel from the past season of Gabby and Rachel. If Gabby is, who cares if Gabby's on? I don't know. Even though I like Gabby. Okay, whatever. I'm getting off track. Whoever's watching this is just watching my decline from being a functioning human who couldn't make proper sentences into me just developing some sort of inability to just speak. This is literally not going to be labeled the Bachelorette Recap. This is just going to be watch me decline in every sense of the word. Okay. I wish Shirley, I'm about to like actually give up on this video because I can't read or talk. I wish Charity had asked more about when Dutton was opening up and he was talking about his process of coming to the country, and he was being very honest and like forthcoming about what that entailed for him. I wish that Charity had asked more questions, and maybe she might have, and they just cut it out because she seems to be a little bit emotionally in tune. I felt like that conversation had so much more to it, especially as an immigrant myself. Although I'm a different type of African immigrant than him, because like I immigrated here because my family's American. So my immigration story isn't like, oh, me and my family immigrated here, or like there's like a lot, or like I'm so fascinated by that, and I want to get to know more about him. So I just am like, Charity, let him talk. This Garage's obsession. But yeah, I kind of also feel like Charity is maybe a little bit less in tune than him. Her like depth of something related to that, I feel like is not as deep down, because she is kind of like a bubbly Southern girl who goes for like 24-year-olds who are questionable and weird, and she'd rather talk about what they want to talk about and not talk about like a super real thing like an immigration process. And I feel like Dutton just has like so much more depth than she would. So I don't know. As much as I am a little bit critical on Charity, I do think she's really like cute and fun. She's a fun, good time. But I also just feel like there's some sort of like not emotional immature. That sounds kind of harsh. But I do feel like there's like a little bit of a lack of, you know how like Michelle from The Bachelorette, how she just had this way of like articulating exactly what she felt and just straight up getting like having no BS, like not entertaining anybody who she was wary of. I feel like Charity's missing that a little bit because she's like she's just not as mature or like confident in who she is the way that Michelle was, you know? I don't know. Anyway, but that's not for me to compare two Black Bachelorettes. Like, they're two different people. But what I'm saying is I just have that feeling that she's not as confident or sure of herself the way that, I don't know, Michelle type would be. You know what I mean? I don't know. which is fine. She's a different person. Okay, so what the heck was Brayden talking about when he was like, when they were on their date? It was the group date. And Brayden just says, I'm going to assert my dominance more and more as the day goes on. The clothes are coming off. The minute that was said, I had to write it down. I wrote down, the clothes are coming off? Do you mean the claws or what? The clothes are coming off? What are we doing here? He said that he ate some mushrooms that were just kind of like along the trail. Was he tripping? Because I feel like that's kind of the only explanation for this behavior. But I'll just, at the same time, he just is weird like that. So if he's tripping or not, well, we will never be able to tell. Also, these Girl Scout actors were killing it. Oh my God. Can I hire them for, I don't know what, but for something? Like, serving sass, attitude, everything. It's very much giving, my parents signed me up for this and I got to do a good job. Like, I'm going to serve in this Bachelorette episode. It's like, what the heck this is. And that's another thing is like, I don't think that those are real Girl Scouts. I'm pretty sure the Bachelor is hired, because they always be hiring child actors out of nowhere for what? Like, it's so weird that the Bachelor does this, but it makes sense, I guess. I don't know. No, it does. It's weird. Also, Charity looked really cute, I feel like, on the date of the group date. She looked really cute. She looked like super cute in her little winter clothes and stuff. I was about it. I feel like I have been critical about Charity in the past because I feel like the Bachelorette stylist is always so, they don't feel like they dress the girls modern. I feel like they dress the girls like from things that are back from 2 or 5 years ago. And I just feel like these, especially with like the fur coats, I'm like, oh my God. It just feels like very much early 2000s inspired, but whatever, it's fine. No, it's not. That's why I'm just speaking about it. It's fine for somebody. It's not fine for me, but whatever. But she does look cute with the pigtails. I just want to give her that as much as I've been critical. Aaron B is correct in saying that Brayden is pessimistic. Because Brayden, yeah, as much as he's like real or whatever, he's real, honest, as much as you can't fault him for his feelings, he also just like, most of the things that he's saying are so out of a place of, like, I don't know, like, I'm just worried about hurting her. I'm gonna pack my bags. I'm worried about hurting her. Like, what? It just, I don't know. He's annoying. That's what it comes down. He's just annoying. I don't know. And then not Charity walking into this stupid heated conversation, being like, so what's up? I just walked into this conversation. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I love when the Bachelorettes have those moments. We've seen it. We saw the last Bachelorette season with Rachel walking in being like, listen, you guys, nobody looked at me. Nobody looked at me. Or with Hannah B being like, nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows who I am. Ew, my accent, what the heck? I love when the Bachelorettes get like fired up and they're like, so like, let's be real, like no BS. Seriously. I love it. It's just so uncomfortable, but I thrive. I will give it to Brayden though, like as much as I'm giving him so much crap and I'm such like a anti-Brayden page, I do feel like a lot of the piling on of Brayden is a little bit unnecessary. Like they're acting like he's going around saying like, Charity's like actually really ugly, like I'm not really down for her, she's weird as she's like on, you know, like they're acting like he's just like going around like saying the worst, most heinous things when he really is just like, as much as I do fault him and find him annoying, he says like some of the wrong things, but it's like, do like, do we really want people who are here who can only say the right things? Charity has to have a variety of men here for the wrong reasons, right reasons, whatever reasons. If they're gonna articulate themselves to say things that are like bad, typically like they do say it to her. Like Brayden has said a lot of the things that he meant to her, but also he does have a way of twisting his words, which I can see could be frustrating for the men. But the men just, I feel like, are so hostile towards Brayden in a way that's like, this is not that warranted. Seriously, like, this is not that warranted. It feels bad. It feels like bullying. But I mean, whatever. I don't know. I don't like him. I'm not gonna be like, justice for Brayden, because I don't care that much. Like, anyway, so Brayden gets sent home. I think at this point he got sent home. Yeah. Brayden got sent home, and I was like, oh, shoot, it's a long time coming. But, I mean, I really am missing the drama, because Brayden brings the drama. Now we're going to have to have it shifted to Shrek from Prince Charming. And nobody really wants that for real. Like, we wanted to see Brayden go far. And he did have his little Luke P moment, but it was like a little bit less than Luke P. Can you imagine if Luke P was on the same season that Aaron B was on? That would be a fight. Seriously, that I can't. Can you imagine? Yeah, wild. So also when Charity and Xavier were going to the fruit festival, I wanted to go to a fruit festival. What the heck? I want to go to a fruit festival. Although I will say, if I go to a fruit festival and I bring back a bunch of fruit, 80% of them will die in my fridge. So maybe I shouldn't go to a fruit festival. But that was a really cute date. Charity got, okay, I don't want to jump too far ahead. It was a cute date. I wanted to go. I do see her concerns about Xavier, because Xavier does not seem to be that serious of a person. But I remember being really impressed with him in his package, because he knits. He's starting to get his PhD. So he's educated, focused on his education and his career. He is physically extremely attractive. So I feel like we needed to be kind of reminded of that, because we haven't really got a lot of time with him. We don't know like most of these people for real. I wish we got to know them a little bit more. Like, we know a little bit about Brayden because they gave us so much time with him, but like, I so value seeing Xavier because he's fine. He's in touch with, I don't want to say femininity because he knits. Like, being like knitting as a man does not mean you're in touch with femininity. It just means that you knit as a man. But it's typically more of like a feminine thing. So can I say that? I don't know. Yeah, but I love that Charity got right into like, so do you see an engagement or what? I thought that was really great because she was like talking about it. She was like, I just don't know. And she got straight into it. I love that. I love like seeing this energy from her. It's like really cool. Yes. Also, I like him, but some part of me, because he also reminds me of somebody who I would have liked in high school, or somebody who I even like had a thing with in high school. And I feel like men, and I don't want to stereotype him and pigeonhole him into a box that I've already created, but I just feel like he says all the right things. But at the same time, then I'm reminded he knits. He's a good caregiver, or he looks at his parents and wants a marriage like theirs because his dad is a good caregiver, because his mom has multiple sclerosis, and that's why he's studying to, you know, like, be inspired by his mom so that he can, I guess, be a caregiver for other people too, like his mom, you know? Multiple sclerosis is something that I have experience with. I used to caregive for a woman who had multiple sclerosis, and it is no light task to caretake for somebody who has multiple sclerosis. So I feel like even him just having a mother who has that is kind of like, it says something about his character that he's inspired by his mom in that way, because I feel like I feel like it shows a little bit of emotional maturity, you know, to bring that up. But then it could also just be like a brownie point. I don't know. I don't know. Why were they walking on the treadmill with their suits? There was no like punchline to that joke. There was nothing besides the fact that they were just all walking in their suits. The producers really just said, just walk on the treadmill for it'll be funny. And then they what? Anyway, not Sean at the group date. Everybody's at the group date. Everything's going fine. And then Brayden just busts. He just busts through the door. like he just has like, I don't know. He just busts through the door like as if I just would imagine the producers are leading him and being like, and they're being like, you know what, you were done so dirty, come in with all the attitude that you have, like assert your dom. But I just would imagine he's being hyped up to do these things, because I can't imagine anybody would just do that with their own volition. You know what, I am such the people pleaser, I'm such the sensitive person, I'm such the timid, like, hey, hi, how y'all doing type person, that I can't imagine having the gall, the attitude to just like walk through a door like that. And then also not Sean being like, he walks in here with his scarf, meanwhile he's wearing a scarf, and the producer's like, so aren't you wearing a scarf? And he's like, yeah, it's cashmere though. He said that was very much like, yeah, but it's cashmere. So that's so funny. I wrote that down. This is cashmere. So the rose ceremony happens, and then Caleb, who's a class act, goes home. This man put up such a good performance. He should be on Paradise. I would love to see him on Paradise. And he was crying for Charity, and we didn't even see more than a second of their interactions this whole season. We haven't seen them interact once. No, maybe we have seen them interact once. We haven't seen them interact, if like at all. So it's weird that he's crying, because you're like, what connection do you have to that girl? What? But I find it so endearing and so loving that he was like, she's a great girl. Yeah, just a sweetie. And then John went home. Justice for John. Oh my God, justice for John. Because why was it Sean and not John? That's what we want to know. I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for everybody. I'm probably speaking for like 90% of people who watched the episode. What the heck is up with that? Yeah, I'm sorry if I burp for a second, because I'm not editing any of this out. The preview for next week is fire. It looks so good. It looks so dramatic. I love that Charity is kind of like in a little emotional mess. I feel like she has a good group of guys. In the way that she still has Joey. She still has Dutton, who are my two faves, who I feel like really do like her. And Aaron B and Sean and Tanner. Yuck. Who the anyways, we'll talk about it next week, and I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.